School bullies knock a cancer girl's wig off. Then a black boy quietly turns the tables. Title: School bullies knock a cancer girl's wig off. Then a black boy quietly turns the tables. The copper-colored wig tumbled across the cafeteria floor like autumn leaves caught in a cruel wind. The silence that followed was deafening. Hundreds of adolescent voices silenced in a collective gasp as Eliza Martin stood frozen, her pale, hairless head exposed beneath the harsh fluorescent lights. In that moment, something shifted in Marcus Johnson's eyes as he watched from 3 tables away. Nobody noticed him quietly rise from his seat. Nobody saw the careful way he folded his napkin, and nobody could have predicted what he was about to set in motion. 3 weeks earlier, Westridge High School welcomed a new student. Whispers followed Eliza Martin through the hallways, speculation about the wig that never quite sat naturally, about the hollowness in her cheeks, about the way she sometimes disappeared for days at a time. "My mom says she has leukemia," Madison Keller told her clique during Tuesday's lunch period, her voice carrying just far enough to reach Marcus's ears at the neighboring table. "She's been doing chemo since last spring." Marcus kept his head down, focused on his history textbook. As one of only 7 black students at Westridge, he'd perfected the art of invisibility, moving through the social hierarchy unnoticed, unbothered. It was safer that way, especially with Brock Westerly and his followers always looking for new targets. "What's the point of even coming to school if you're just going to die anyway?" snickered Tyler, Brock's right-hand man, loudly enough for everyone to hear. Marcus gripped his pencil tighter, the wood nearly snapping between his fingers. 2 years ago, he'd watched his grandmother wither away from the same disease that now attacked Eliza. He remembered the wool beanie she'd worn until the very end, her quiet dignity as the chemo ravaged her body. If you're enjoying our story so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next, whispered a voice from somewhere in Marcus's memory. His grandmother's voice, always telling him to share his stories. Eliza integrated into classes with quiet determination. In AP chemistry, Marcus noticed the careful way she took notes, her handwriting precise despite the occasional tremor in her hands. When Mr. Burnett assigned lab partners, fate placed them side by side at Station 4. "I'm Marcus," he said simply, extending his hand. Eliza, her grip was stronger than he expected. They worked well together, moving around each other with comfortable efficiency. Neither mentioned the obvious, the wig that sometimes shifted slightly when she turned too quickly, the way she occasionally needed to sit while others stood during long experiments. Meanwhile, Brock Westerly's reign of terror continued unabated. His father, Westridge's namesake and the school board president, ensured that complaints about his son mysteriously disappeared. The teachers looked the other way when Brock targeted the vulnerable, the scholarship kids, the socially awkward, anyone different. "Back in my day, they called it character building," Marcus overheard Principal Grayson tell a concerned parent, a phrase that echoed from the disciplinary approaches of the 1980s that had failed an entire generation. By October, Marcus and Eliza had developed an unexpected friendship. They never discussed her illness directly, but when she returned after a 3-day absence, pale and moving slowly, he wordlessly carried her backpack between classes. "My dad had a record player like that," Eliza remarked one afternoon, noticing the vintage turntable wallpaper on Marcus's phone. "He used to play Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life every Sunday morning." "My grandma, too," Marcus replied, surprised, "said it was food for the soul." Something shifted between them then, a recognition, a connection through shared experience that transcended the usual high school divisions. If you're watching from somewhere special today, drop it in the comments below. We'd love to know where this story is finding you. As Halloween approached, Brock's targeting of Eliza intensified. He'd accidentally bump into her in hallways or knock books from her hands. Each incident chipped away at her resilience. Marcus watched, internal conflict raging, step in and become a target himself or maintain the protective invisibility he'd cultivated. The costume contest announcement came in late October. "A chance to show school spirit," the posters proclaimed, though everyone knew it was really a popularity contest Brock's group always dominated. "You should enter," Marcus told Eliza as they reviewed chemistry notes. "You'd make an amazing Ripley from Alien, That was your dad's favorite movie, right? With this, she gestured vaguely toward her wig. No thanks. What Marcus didn't tell her was what he'd overheard in the locker room. Brock and Tyler planning to accidentally spill water on Eliza's head during the costume parade, to see if the carpet matches the drapes, or if there's even a carpet at all. That night Marcus couldn't sleep. His grandmother's voice echoed in his thoughts. Sometimes standing by is just as bad as throwing the punch yourself. By morning, a plan had formed, dangerous, potentially costly, but necessary. The following week passed in a blur of preparation. Marcus called in favors, made arrangements, and watched Brock's every move with calculated precision, all while continuing to help Eliza through increasingly difficult days as her treatment intensified. The cafeteria fell silent the moment it happened. Brock, executing his plan with practiced cruelty, hooked Eliza's wig with his water bottle as he passed behind her, yanking it off with a flourish that sent it spinning across the floor. "Oops, Cancer Girl's having a bad hair day," he announced to uneasy laughter. Eliza stood frozen, exposed and vulnerable, tears welling in her eyes. The moment stretched infinitely as students stared, phones already capturing her humiliation. And then Marcus stood up. The room watched in confusion as he calmly walked to the center of the cafeteria, stopped directly under the main light, and pulled something from his pocket. An electric razor. Without breaking eye contact with Brock, Marcus raised the razor to his own head and began shaving his thick black curls, the ones his mother had lovingly oiled and shaped since he was a child, the hair that connected him to his heritage and identity. The buzz of the razor was the only sound in the stunned cafeteria. When half his head was bare, he spoke, not loudly, but in the silence everyone heard. "Anyone else want to show Eliza what real courage looks like?" For 3 heartbeats, nothing happened. Then Jasmine Chen, captain of the debate team, walked forward. "Me next," she said, taking the razor from Marcus. Then came Trevor from the basketball team. Then Ms. Rodriguez, the young Spanish teacher who had been watching from the side. One by one, students and even teachers formed a line. Brock's laughter died in his throat as he watched his power evaporate. When someone produced a broom and dustpan for the hair, he slipped away, diminished. Eliza stood among them, tears streaming down her face, but now they were different tears. Marcus picked up her wig, gently handing it to her. "Your choice," he said simply. "Whatever makes you feel strong." With trembling hands, she set the wig aside and stood tall among her newly bald supporters. What no one in the cafeteria knew, what would come out in the evening news, was that Marcus had arranged for the entire scene to be live-streamed to the school board meeting happening simultaneously across town. The same board that had protected Brock for years watched in real time as Marcus Johnson revealed the true character of Westridge High School. By nightfall, Brock's father had resigned from the board. By the following week, a new anti-bullying policy had been implemented with actual consequences. And by Christmas, when Eliza returned from her final round of treatment with peach fuzz sprouting on her scalp, she found an entire support system waiting. "My grandmother used to say that courage isn't about being fearless," Marcus told her as they hung decorations for the winter formal. "It's about being terrified but doing the right thing anyway." "Smart woman," Eliza replied, her strength returning day by day. "The smartest," Marcus agreed, touching his own regrown hair thoughtfully. "She also said that hair is just hair, but who you are underneath, that's what matters." As they joined their friends on the dance floor, the transformed culture of Westridge High School swirled around them. Not perfect, but fundamentally changed by one quiet act of defiance and solidarity. If this story touched you today, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us of the power of standing up for what's right, even when, especially when, it's difficult. Sometimes, the quietest revolutions are the most profound.